What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a tweet that's gone viral. That could be bait, could not be bait, could be just sincere thoughts, whatever. But it's a little bit of a dead period here, as we enter July, and this is a thing. Once again, I feel like just diminishing games. I don't really think I need to go on the offense. Have gaming's back. I feel like the internet has already responded appropriately, but I wanted to kind of talk about this. Saw this a few days ago on Twitter. So, unpopular opinion. There's no difference in someone playing video games for hours to you doom scrolling TikTok or Instagram for hours. Now, it's definitely gone viral. It's got like 11 plus million views. It's got a very fair amount of likes. I would not really say this thing has been ratioed, but I mean, there's been some good responses, and I've seen, I think, the gaming side of things stick up for themselves, which again, do we have to do it to this individual? Probably not, but it is a ridiculous statement, and again, I think it's like, this is where gaming, I mean, this is a football player we're talking about, right? So it's like, this is a wider kind of view, and I don't know how many people, like gaming is so big. We've seen like politicians say some pretty crazy stuff about games, and it's like, why can't games just kind of catch a break? And especially when you bring in, okay, the actual, my own feeling on that tweet. Like doom scrolling these social media sites is probably one of the worst things you can do for yourself. And I mean, like, I don't know, I haven't done studies myself, but I feel like there has been numerous studies out there that show links between anxiety and stress and this fear. I mean, like, it's what it's called for a reason, right? You're doom scrolling. You are quite literally taking all of this information, just throwing in your head. Firstly, it's a lot of garbage in the first place, right? It's a lot of lies. It's a lot of deception. It's whatever from really both sides, right? You're just seeing so much pointless trash, and you're just funneling it in your brain. I mean, how many studies have shown like this is not good for children, right? Like, children should not be on these things. It's why there's supposed to be kind of age restrictions. Like, you're not supposed to be under 13 for YouTube and whatever it is for Twitter and stuff. Like, this is why we have these things, because it is really proven time and time again just how bad that stuff is for you. And then you talk about, okay, well, what's bad, or is there anything bad, about gaming for you? And this goes into the debate of, like, you can go back into like the early 2010s where news stations, right, big ones like the Foxes and CNNs, and a lot of people would take shots, at video games, right, and they cause people to do this or that. I feel like there's been enough out there where it's like gaming can stimulate you. Gaming is really, in a lot of ways, good for you. I think if you could play games at a really reasonable level when you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, you're doing good for yourself. You're doing a lot of dexterity with your hands. You are flexing certain muscles in your brain, when you're playing games, even ones that you're not actively thinking of. Even playing Call of Duty, say, as like a 68-year-old, I feel like that has some inherent value to you as a person. Now, like, maybe not to your eyes and stuff, the blue light and all that jazz. Maybe there are some like negatives there. Maybe people should go outside and touch grass a little bit more often. Like, yes, there are some things you can. I'm not saying gaming is perfect. It is not. But to compare it to that, to say they're the same thing, and again, it just brings up the angle to me, just seeing it on social media for so long about, like, how inherently evil gaming is, and it's like, why can't people just leave it alone? I really think the positives far, far, far outweigh the negatives. I really think that, again, you're flexing a lot of these muscles in your hands, in your brain, and that you're just naturally not doing if you're not doing gaming. And also, like, I don't know, do you want people like on the streets doing things, or would you rather people play Call of Duty? It's really almost the exact opposite of, like, well, I don't want to say certain words for like YouTube purposes, but back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, gaming causes, let's say, violence, right? And certain people to do certain things. And it's like, if anything, gaming prevents people from it's again the opposite of, I think people sometimes are so chronically online, they're so chronically as a gamer that maybe they don't go outside and see the sun. And hey, I'm partially one of that as well. If I didn't have a family, I don't know how much I would see the sun. But at the same time, it's still, I think you should go outside. Okay, so that stuff is true. But also, like, every hour that you're playing Death Stranding, every hour that let's go more normie, right? Every hour that a kid's playing Fortnite. Now, I don't love Fortnite. In fact, I kind of hate it, right? I hate what it's done for the industry. But every hour that somebody's playing Fortnite, they're not doing something else. They're not doing going out and starting a life of crime, at 15 years old. Or you're doing some bad stuff. You can get caught up in the wrong crowd and in the wrong group and do some bad stuff in your early teens. Would I rather you play Fortnite or do that? I'd rather you play Fortnite. I guess that's not what the tweet's saying. It's just kind of me kind of rolling off of it. But specifically to the tweet, I don't even think they're remotely the same. The worlds. Okay, so to me personally, I play games for those worlds, for the story, for the characters, for something different, in the gameplay. I'm not playing it. You could play it for social aspects. I don't really do that as much as I've done it in the past. I've played Battlefield. It's kept me connected to friends and all that stuff. But okay, so that's why I play games. I don't get that from doom scrolling. When I doom scroll, which I don't really do in the first place, when I'm scrolling, if I see something that's garbage, I've trained myself for doing this as long as I have, where again, it's like so much of this stuff is fake, so much of this stuff is bait, none of it really matters. A lot of this stuff doesn't even exist in the first place. It is what it is. I'm going to go play a game that also doesn't really matter. It doesn't really exist. But you know what? That connects with me more. That's something that I can actually get into, and it's telling stories, and it's transporting me. It's escapism, if nothing else, right? It's transporting me somewhere else. It's not the same thing as seeing like we're entering World War III for the 50th time, right? It's like that's not the same thing. So unless the game is about it, but it's a different angle for sure, no matter what, right? And look, a lot of people say this. I do think it's like a classically bait thing. It gets people to talk about it, but whatever. It's a slower day. I feel like talking about it. It's my choice. But honestly, like look at like the fitness bros, okay? It's like, okay, look, like being fit is very important. Like I am not like an anti-fitness person. I should be more fit than I really am, but I do walk around. I do a lot of stuff, whatever. You should be fit. You should try to take care of your body. Okay, I believe in that stuff. But then it oftentimes is those people where it's like, sleep 7 hours a day and then wake up and then do 5 hours of training. And then actually, when you do those 5 hours and you eat like your steak protein breakfast, it's really only 6:01 a.m. and then do this and then do that. It's like nobody does that. Nobody can actually physically do that. And those people tend to bring up like the gaming is evil for you and like you're sitting and you're not active. Why aren't you running a marathon every other day? Like instead you're playing Death Stranding too. You have these people that are just so, and those people are kind of funny. To be honest with you, I laugh when I see people that say, again, you should do these 6 things and that's only the first hour of your day. Then you do these other 12 things and it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. Then you have the whole day to do these other 5 things. It's like, there's no way. Most people don't do that. Whatever. You can take care of yourself. That's great. But at the same time, it's like when those people then insert, okay, and now here's all the negative things you do for yourself. And some of those things are true. And that's like you play video games. It's like, well, wait a second. Is playing video games really all that bad? Again, think about what you could be doing instead of playing video games. And yeah, you could probably come up with some like good ones. I'm not saying do gaming for 16 hours of the day and the other 8 you sleep. Like I'm not saying that. So yeah, there should be other things in your life. So I'm not saying like do just strictly that, but it's really that main argument that I guess you can twist either way. Like, yeah, you could technically maybe be doing better stuff for you versus gaming. You could be running a marathon every second that you game and you'll probably have a healthier life, but I don't know. That's physical health and maybe that helps your mental health, but also like gaming can really help people. And it does help people quite a bit, and there's studies that show that as well. And again, on the opposite side of that same argument, every time you're gaming, you're not starting drinking when you're 14 years old or robbing a store or whatever, starting a life of crime like the Joker. I don't know. Like you're doing something a little bit more productive than that. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I think gaming is pretty important, as you could clearly tell. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.